Alright everyone, welcome to another day of ECAL North and South American Tournament. $3,000 prize pool. My name is Draskyl, joined once again by the legendary Quantic. Mikey, man, what's up?
Not much, man. Doing good. Waiting for this epic rematch.
Epic rematch. After some shenanigans behind the scenes and people pointing fingers and using ringers. Can't have that in competitive Dota, man. It's never happened before, and we will not stand for it in this tournament. But no, I already explained it. If you guys weren't here, you can catch it in the VOD as to why these teams are playing again. And we're going to be seeing the second iteration of PotM taking on Root Gaming. And I forgot to go offline mode, so my Steam is getting spammed. Sorry about that. Gonna go ahead and fix it before it gets too out of control. There we go. Alright, but we're gonna see the Brood ban out already from Root Gaming, and Darkseer Brewmaster getting taken out by PotM. So it seems like both these teams not wanting to have to deal with any good early or mid-gamey type heroes.
Yeah, definitely. Brood ban from Root is expected, so is the Syllabare that just got banned out. PotM bottom bans, they're just kind of standard bans. Nothing out of the ordinary from them.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff, and obviously you don't want to give AI 2000 a Brood. We all know that. We've seen the outcome sometimes, and it's not really good for the opposition in this case. Waiting for the last couple of bans out. This is going to be the only game of the day, guys, unfortunately, because I think this was actually a reschedule as well. So we're only going to be bringing you one today, but if you guys like the channel, feel free to follow. We'll be bringing you much more ECAL in the future. I'm sure Mikey will be here as often as he possibly can be, but he is on Quantic, so I'm sure he'll have games to play eventually. But then again, this is a pretty late tournament in the day. Most tournaments don't run this late. As we're also going to see Lycan banned out as well from PotM.
Another typical ban. Nothing really out of the ordinary. PotM probably feels like if they play their game standard, where there's no ringers en route, they can take them out easily.
That's actually the opposite of what it should be in some cases, so that's a bit unfortunate, especially if you're Root Gaming. But they're going to be using EGM from Infuse, by the way, for those of you who didn't know. He's definitely a very solid player, and it looks like right now they're trying to figure out what the last ban's going to be. I mean, you got heroes like CK, Furion, Chen, all still in the pool. Actually, both junglers, or I guess you could say all three if you want to count heroes like Enigma as well, who are predominantly used in that role. But they're going to go ahead and get rid of Furion instead, and I think that's actually a much better ban because PB has been known to run Furion. I know sneaking plays him in the long lane to great effect, and they're going to go with a first pick Invoker. So this leaves CK open and Chen. What do you think about this first pick?
It fits PotM style. If they get an Invoker, they feel super comfortable in the game. Fogged plays that hero a lot, and he's extremely good on it. So that was more of a comfort pick rather than anything else.
Gonna go ahead and see what Root decides to do with that. Ball's in their court right now. They could go for a standard jungler and pick up that CK, like we said. I know that they definitely have CK players on their team. We could also see Shadow Demon. I know they like that a lot. We've seen DDX play it actually twice in a row. They're going to go with the Leshrac. So there's a hero we're going to probably be seeing Blitz play, I would assume. And yep, there is the Shadow Demon. I know they love that hero. I definitely don't blame them. It also gets rid of the combination of the Invoker Shadow Demon, which we've seen so many times recently. That can be very potent and really just tough to deal with overall. And now, I mean, still, no CK pick. Kind of interesting. The last time we've seen the ECAL matches, everybody was kind of favoring him as a first-tier pick. Just always want him within the first three. And we're not through them quite yet. But right now, the ball's in PB's court. AA is still in the pool as well. They definitely love to run their globals. Every single time I've seen them play, if they get Invoker, they get AA. They are going to go and get up a Chen here, so that's good for them as well. And wow, Morphling instead of picking up an AA, and I don't know, if you're in Root Gaming's position, you got to think the CM's coming soon, or at least some kind of support.
Yeah, definitely. Expect to support in a long lane for PotM at this point. They're doing something super standard. I would have expected an Enchantress over a Chen pick from that team, but I mean, Chen and Chant, pretty much same hero. Well, does the same thing, so I guess it works out.
Well, I think the Enchantress suits them more, too, because of their aggressive playstyle. Enchantress has a ridiculous damage output if you can get a fast 6. Impetus is pure damage, and you can pretty much pick off any type of hero with a decent gank, and especially with heroes like Invoker on your team and Morphling, who can both play very aggressively, due to, like you said, Fog being a great Invoker player, probably just going to go Exort like he typically does, and then Morphling, whose early game has been buffed ever since they changed his more stats to give base stats as well as being able to convert. And right now, we're just going to go ahead and wait for the last pick out here for Root in the first of the ban pick phase. And yeah, I think this is actually a lot more standard than I was expecting PB to play. And I don't know if this is something that they've been practicing, because so far I would have expected them to pick different heroes than the Morphling and the Chen both. Typically, like I said, they run global or split push strats, and they do it very, very well. Maybe they're just a bit shaken up after last time, because as many people want to point fingers at Root and say, well, you guys used a ringer and that's wrong, which we totally agree. The admin said that I mean, they could have replayed the game if they wanted to, or taken the forfeit loss, and PB actually said, no, what, it's fine. They beat us in the early game, which is very respectable in my opinion. I like the fact that they did that, because if anybody had seen the game, it was like 9-2 at like 14 minutes in, and they were just really not looking too solid that day. And Windrunner is actually going to be the last pick out for Root here in the first of the 6, so CK actually not getting picked up at all. And we're going to see if AA or any supports make it into the second ban phase. If I'm in Root's position right now, I really want to ban supports. That's my goal.
Yeah, just the hard supports, Crystal Maiden, Venomancer, maybe Avenge. I would ban out those heroes, possibly a Tide Hunter. Just try to remove all the babysit heroes that can protect the Morphling and stop his farm as much as possible.
Well, we'll see if they're going to go ahead and go with that plan, waiting for the first of the second ban phase here from PB. Once again, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. My name is Draskyl, joined by Quantic Mikey, good friend of mine, awesome player, and potential coach in the future, man. We're talking about a bit before the cast. I think it would be really cool to see that kind of thing happen, especially if you can stream it and show people that there is an actual effect on coaching, as long as you do it properly. I think that it can be done. It's probably just something that you're going to have to work on a bit. But Tide actually getting taken out here by PB as well as Enigma. So I guess they're really worried about a long lane Enigma and possibly a dual lane with mid and having a Morphling and a support and then potentially a solo Invoker bottom. I mean, I guess PB could have done that, but that's the only reason I can see for them to ban an Enigma in this case.
Yeah, long lane Enigma it's a threat, I guess. They just want to remove the long laners. They might even ban a Beastmaster here, just to force them into like a no long lane situation.
You know, it's really funny, too, after seeing the Storm ban coming out this late. I mean, I have to think that the Leshrac pickup was just because Root was anticipating that. They know that Blitz plays Storm. But picking up Leshrac, that's also one of his very well-known heroes, so they have kind of a failsafe in that regard, and he can get on one of his strongest characters, and I think that that's probably a good route to take, and they're actually not going to take out the support at all. They're going to go ahead and just get rid of both the long laners, like you said, and I think that's still a pretty viable option, but now you have the issue of how strong is the Morphling plus support lane going to be comparative to what we're going to be sending to middle lane or to the safe lane, or I guess in Root's gaming, the long lane, because now you have to really think about, well, this Morphling could potentially be getting free farm.
And they even picked up a Queen of Pain, so they're not that bad off on a long laner. Now they can get a support for free, basically, and Root Gaming's plans of shattering their long lane is pretty much out the window.
Well, as it stands right now, you could still send the Windrunner to the long lane. We could see a potential dual lane mid from them as well, if they are anticipating PotM bottom doing it. I wouldn't put it past them at this point, considering, again, Morphling has just seen so much in that role, and I don't really think that there's any reason to put him anywhere else, especially considering the fact that a Shadow Demon Leshrac is a pretty decent dual lane mid, but it's not really going to scare a Morphling +1 away, I don't think. I mean, they can go on the support in that lane, but the Morphling's never going to really feel that pressured, and with a very mobile top laner, oh wow, they're going to go with a Night Stalker, so I really like that pick quite a bit. It gives them more tankiness. They can actually try to initiate team fights. They can punish Queen of Pain very much for playing aggressive or overextending. I think that's a really, really good and important pickup for them. It kind of solidifies themselves in a position where I don't feel like they're just going to be behind in team fights if they try to take them early.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have the upper hand, especially once the first nighttime rolls around. What I'm worried about, though, is if they don't get enough momentum with the Night Stalker, then they're going to fall behind, since the Radiant has the Morphling pick. So they just have to be perfectly aggressive like they were in the last game against PotM bottom, and they'll be fine.
Definitely agreed. And Venomancer, last pick out from PotM bottom, that is a support. I don't... See, this is my problem. Whenever I see a Venomancer support with a hero who can play as aggressively as Morphling can, I don't know if it's the best option in terms of getting the most out of your lane, because typically a Morphling CM can kill anything, even heroes with Blink. In competitive games, we've seen that happen time and time again. And Venomancer is great in the fact that he keeps you extremely safe. Okay, Weaver pick, that's actually... I wasn't actually sure what they were going to go with as the last pick, but they're going to go ahead and pick up Weaver. That does solidify their late game, but... I don't know, man. Weaver against a late game Morphling, I don't really think that Weaver is the type of carry who wants to just go one-on-one. I think he just wants to try to kill the rest of your team before saving the carry for last. And if you're a Morphling, that's probably the best thing possible for you, because you don't have to worry about converting stats. You can stay on all agility and just rely on your right-click damage to just win the team fight. But aside from that, yeah, back to the Venomancer. I think it's just a really safe pick. I don't think it's necessarily the best for winning the laning phase.
Yeah, there are definitely more aggressive support heroes. Shadow Demon, Venge, Crystal Maiden. Just a few better supports for aggressive play. But, I mean, it's just a safe pick, Venomancer. It can do anything.
Well, we're going to see what everybody's going to be playing here. Good luck, have fun, comes out, guys. This is Root Gaming taking on PotM bottom round 2 in the group stages. These teams were tied to see who was going to make it through into the playoff phase. This is going to be the deciding game, end of the group stages for this particular group. Going to see the stand-in from Infuse EGM playing on Windrunner Korea, taking up the reins on Night Stalker. DDX playing his very, very well-known and very skilled Shadow Demon, as we've seen before. We're going to have Ephraim playing on Leshrac, actually, and Blitz is going to be the one playing on Weaver. So they are not going to send the Leshrac to that middle lane to farm. They're actually going to send it probably as more of a support role, or they're just going to try lane bottom, I guess, too. Can see 3 heroes actually making their way bottom right now, so it's going to be a Night Stalker, Shadow Demon, and Leshrac tri lane. That's dangerous, man. That's if you get caught, you are in a huge amount of trouble.
Yeah, and it's only going to be a Queen of Pain down here, so if they take advantage of this tri lane properly, they could get a really good start on their tri lane. But you have to also think, well, Weaver's probably in a better situation than Queen of Pain is, going tri lane versus one hero.
Well, the problem really lies in the fact that if Night Stalker gets silence at any point in the game, especially during the first night, like this Queen of Pain's not going to have the durability to live through any combo of damage that's going to be coming out from this tri lane. She's going to have to play really far back. If she does like any aggressive play at all, she's just going to get completely punished for it, and they can just pretty much chase her down. You have heroes like Shadow Demon. I mean, you can get disrupted, you get slowed down from the Void, and then you get stunned again, so you got to play it very carefully. We can already see very aggressive warding coming out as well from Merc Gaming. They just want to make sure that there's no basic gank that can come down here to make them feel unsafe. And since they're going to be spotting out actually a solo down here, these wards might have been better used at the rune spot.
Yeah, they should have definitely waited until they saw the lanes before placing this on the creep spawn. But, I mean, it's a small mistake. It can be overlooked.
Well, EGM's going to be going mid as Windrunner, going up against Fogged on the Invoker. It's one of those very well-known heroes. I think that Invoker definitely wins in this situation. I mean, X-Sword Invoker is just so hard to lane against in general. His base damage is completely ridiculous. Top lane, again, we're going to have that Weaver going up against Aoi 2000 on Morphling. Over at the side right here, Tides of Time playing on Chen, and Way Too Sexy playing on Venomancer. So that's their aggressive jungle tri-lane, which we've actually seen today if anybody was watching Star Series. I think that Navi actually did that against Miles, and it was very effective, so taking a page out of their book, at least for the day. And wow, Blitz is actually kind of getting caught out here. He doesn't have Shikuchi for another couple seconds. This could be first blood. He's trying to use tangos to eat his way through the woods, but there's the Gale. He does have it. Is he actually going to get away? He needs to try to juke around the trees. He's going to go straight down, and Way Too is not going to spot him out. Sunstrike going down, though. He turns around instead, knowing that it was probably coming. And that is first blood for PotM bottom, and they are probably going to be getting this tower sometime soon, man, using these creeps to cut the wave.
Yeah, man. That first blood, the Weaver was aggressively using his Shikuchi for CSing. You don't do that in a 1v3 lane. That was just a misplay by Blitz. Now he's going to lose his tower, and things are looking pretty bad for him. I thought they would look better for him than they did the Queen of Pain, but apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Shikuchi cooldown 12 seconds at level 1, man. That is a really long time to be relying on that blink. Or not really blink, but just a really fast movement speed mechanic and unit walking, obviously. Going to see a Wildkin here doing a lot of damage to the creeps, and this is not a good position for him. Like, he's going to lose his tower, and there's not really a whole lot he can do about it. The thing with ranged is, when they're pulling like this, you can't really tank the wave. You just take too much damage. You can see him right now. He's trying to avoid taking as much as he can, but eventually this tower is just going to end up going down. And bottom lane sneaking is actually, in terms of CS, doing worse than Blitz, but that's only because of the way that PB is playing top. He is going to get some CS. It's just not going to be enough to overcome the difference of this tower dying.
Yeah, I think bottom lane on the Dire side needs to be a bit more aggressive, or they need to move. They need to put some kind of pressure back on to try to relieve some pressure from the top lane. Or they could even, well, yeah, they should move. They shouldn't do what I was going to say. Anyways.
Well, Gale's not going to be quite on the mark here on the Weaver, and there's really not too much going on all over the map. It's just that this is the most interesting thing that's happening right now. That's why I haven't really moved the camera too much. You can see bottom lane. Sneaking actually managed to get up level 3, so that's good for him. Weaver's level 3 as well, sitting on 3 CS. Go ahead and take a look at mid while we have a chance. Fogged 13-4 compared to the 10-5 EGM, so EGM's actually not doing too bad here. He's able to get some CS. He actually hasn't power shot too much from what I can tell of his mana. But we could see another potential gank attempt here onto Blitz. He's going to get waveformed again. He does have level 2 Shikuchi though this time, so he should be able to get away from this. He's probably going to have to go all the way around though, which is a really, really bad thing because he's going to get so much less experience and get less CS than he was before. So right now, this tower sitting top lane, looking pretty hurt. Gonna go down soon. Wow, triple dive. Fog gonna get shackled with a tree right here. Soul Catcher is on the marker, and sneaking TP is mid to get a kill on DDX. Blinks right in, and Fog is not gonna die. Sunstrike going down. Gonna hit Leshrac right there. That's a double kill for sneaking. Perfect reaction. They knew that smoke was coming, man. As soon as those supports left the lane, I was looking at the jungle on the minimap, and I was like, man, if PB knows this is coming, it could be a huge turnaround. And now the farm that Sneaking wasn't getting totally made up with those 2 kills.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was great for him. That TP was perfect.
And the tower top dies, falls to Venomancer, so PB 3-0 right now at just the 4-minute mark, and they have all the momentum in the world going on into this early stage of the game. Go ahead and look at the gold graph real quick. That's a pretty big spike up, getting close to about 3,000 gold in their advantage. Now the rest of Root has made their way to this bottom lane, and Korea is definitely having a good start. I mean, he's 25-14. That's pretty good CS, but can he really overcome the difference in the other 2 lanes? Because after that failed gank attempt, I mean, Fog's going to be feeling pretty confident that it's not going to happen again. Because of the fact that they anticipated it, I'm pretty sure that Sneaking is going to always be carrying a TP solely for that reason, to be able to turn it around. And it's going to be really rough on these low-level supports to try to gank into that kind of burst damage.
Yeah, definitely. The Night Stalker is having a great start, which should lead to a great night, but it's not going to be a great night if his allies can't support him. And if no other lane wins and it's just the Night Stalker's farm, then it's not going to be relevant.
pops the wind run, still gets clipped though. Can use Plague Wards for sight. He does have that Gale on him right now. EGM trying to juke out. There's the Cold Snap poured in from DDX. Throws at the banish, but here's Sneaking once again. And Way 2 is getting quite low as well. DDX taking a lot of damage from the Shadow Strike. And there's a Wildkin here too. 4 members of PB mid, and that is 2 extra kills for them. The Shadow Demon and Windrunner both going down extremely fast. And now Sneaking, level 5, has a level 3 Scream. 2-0 and 2 right now. He's got quite a bit of gold from that. He's actually sitting on a bottle and boots if he really wants to go buy it. And so far, it just feels like PB knows the move that Root's going to make before they make it.
Yeah, they're predicting everything and just outplaying them right now. It's really well played by PotM bottom in the early game. Completely different from last time.
Yeah, it's just Shu is on the other foot. Ooh, Gale's actually not going to be on the mark right there. Nice dodge by Leshrac. Not going to get caught by that, so he's going to be able to go ahead and walk away. And wow, top lane, Sunstrike coming down. Blitz trying to dodge, but he doesn't manage to do it. How did he get so low in this lane going up against a Morphling? That was definitely interesting. So Aoi doing enough harassment damage. Oh, on bottom two, it looks like Way 2 is actually going to get cut out. So finally, Root getting themselves on the board. Venomancer attempting to juke between that Shadow Demon, Night Stalker, and Leshrac, but not going to do him much good at all. Who did the kill actually go to? Was it Night Stalker or Leshrac? I think it was actually Leshrac. Yeah, okay, he got it. So 1-1 for him. They finally do have some kill, and they've only lost 1 tower at this point, but really the problem is that the gold advantage is already over 3,000 at just 6 minutes, and with only 1 tower, that just kind of says how badly they're getting outlaned right now.
Yeah, all 3 lanes are definitely a loss for Root Gaming, I feel. Even if the Night Stalker has sufficient CS, the supports are not doing well at all. Now it's finally night. Night Stalker might be able to do something here in mid lane.
Oh, but PB's here. Fog going to take a void to the face right there. And the power shot. Cold Snap goes off, though. Sunstrike not going to be on the mark this time. Shackle onto the creep, though. Tide's a Tide getting latched to that range creep. And it looks like Korea's going to manage to get out of here without going down. Got a couple of earn charges for his trouble right there. So there's not going to go down without a fight, man. They're still swinging. Definitely good, though. I like the fact that Korea has decided to start being active during this first night. It was definitely very, very important considering the kind of start that they've had so far to try to keep these lanes down. And really, though, the problem is going to lie in the fact that Aoi 2000 right now has his replicate out. He's going to go TP back to base, basically get full HP and mana. And you can see Blitz, like, he wants to try to kill that replicate, but he's just going to come back. Morphling is way too durable in a lane. You can't really ever chase him out, and that's going to be the real problem for Root going into the mid-game.
Yeah, definitely. Now smoke coming off of the Night Stalker. He's going to try to be aggressive again with this nighttime, but all of PotM bottom is in like really good positioning. They're all staying together, and the Queen of Pain is even hiding right now. Like, they know this is coming.
Korea kind of walking back and forth here, trying to figure out what he wants to do, and this is a risk you take. When you're playing aggressive against a team who is on the defensive, you have to always assume or use wards to try to ensure that you're going to get kills for your time, because if you don't, then you've basically just turned it into a horribly inefficient farming time, basically. You're not going to get any experience out of this. Like you said, Sneaking is just sitting so far to the right-hand side in this bottom lane that they're not going to be able to kill him. I mean, unless they want to use tangos or something to try to catch him. Oh, man, if he actually walks out right here, that would be really bad. But yeah, he's going to go ahead and seek Korea, so he's not going to get too much closer. And the smoke was pretty much wasted, so 100 gold down the drain. Root Gaming, though, looking to push this bottom first-tier tower. Edict is going to go ahead and get popped right there. Korea tanking the creep wave. I like that. Doesn't have to split the Edict between the creeps now, so the tower's going to take extra damage. and they should be able to get this. Oh, TP in from Morphling. Are they going to go in this? Oh, and Seeking comes in from the back. A huge burst damage right there coming out onto DDX. He does manage to get his disruption off, but Aoi is actually going to drop right there thanks to DDX and Leshrac damage as well, not to mention the Night Stalker, who is going to be able to TP out of here, I believe. No stuns left, although it was a 1 for 2 at the end of the day. I guess Root ended up getting the tower, but losing both of their supports, Night Stalker managed to get out and killing the carry, so definitely did come out slightly ahead there. And in this entire time, we also have to keep in mind that Blitz has been able to free farm in this top lane for the first time all game. He is actually 0 and 2 at the moment. Oh no, EGM looks like he's going to drop mid to Fog one-on-one. Eats the cold snap to the face and a couple of right clicks. So Fog doing a great job so far. 3-1 and 2, 36 CS. Definitely not the highest, but he has been doing his part and getting kills. Sunstriking all over the map, especially middle with that turnaround with sneaking so far. PB still looking really strong.
Ooh, Korea just barely missing the kill on the Invoker middle. Went on him with the Void, Invoker just TP'd out with Croissant. Nothing Night Stalker could do.
Well, in this bottom lane, PB pushing. Got double Centaur right here. Oh, actually one just goes down. Gonna pop the Glyph. There's a disruption coming out from DDX, but now Sneaking can go in on this if he really wants to. Ooh, nice double stun though. Gale does manage to clip on Leshrac. Korea coming in from the backside though. Tides is gonna be in some trouble. Tower does go down. Are they gonna be able to get Sneaking? He does manage to TP out. Void going off onto Chen, and now he sends Venomancer back to the base. A very nice heads up play right there by Tides of Time, knowing that he was gonna go down anyway. Might as well send your teammate back to the base and not give the team another kill.
Yeah, just good awareness of what's going on.
PB now, 2 towers up, or 1 tower up, I should say, in comparison to Root Gaming, who only has that tier 1 bottom lane. Ooh, double damage here. Korea waiting on it. Wants to see if he can manage to seal some kind of kill. And I like the warding here from PB2 because they can always see the river movement, no matter if they're going towards top or bottom. I think that these are probably the words you're going to start seeing more and more. And we hear a Shackle go off here in middle lane, not going to latch anything. Oh, EGM, Sunstrike coming down. The Cold Snap will lock him in place long enough. And that is a killing spree for Sneaking. Gets the right click after using the Scream. And now he's sitting at 3-0 and 4, only 16 CS, but all those kills and the tower gold definitely going to make up for that. Ooh, Korea has double damage up here. He does spot out Tides of Time, though. We're going to see pings coming out from PB, so now they know that the Night Stalker's over here. Plague Word's going down for extra vision. And I really don't think... Oh, wow, Tides comes over here. He could be in so much trouble. His team's not going to be able to help him. They're actually going on mid instead, trying to get the tower. Tides of Time does go down. There's the Void, and the immediate pings coming out from the rest of the team. He silences his Centaur to not get stunned. And now he's going to go ahead and right-click one more time. Korea picking up that kill. I really thought that they saw him there. Or maybe they didn't because it's nighttime.
Nice TP.
Yeah, he does manage to get out of there. Good little juke spot. He actually went below the juke spot that I think everybody uses. There's like one extra below that that's like a dead end. There's a little box right there. Oh, in middle lane, now Leshrac getting the Gale and the Sunstrike. Is it going to land? It will, right at his head, thanks to the slow from the Shadow Strike, courtesy of Queen of Pain. Another kill coming out for this Invoker, sitting at 4-1 right now. Middle tower still taking some harassment damage. Courier brings him his drum, has that finished up right now. Korea making his way back to bottom. Going to go ahead and find Sneaking out, though, and he's going to be able to TP away. That is the trouble with the Night Stalkers. If you Void immediately, you simply cannot stop a TP. Void does stop TP, by the way, for those of you who don't know. So if you throw it out, any player with decent awareness will do that to you every single time if they have enough HP to survive your right-click damage, which, fortunately for Sneaking, he did. So now he's going to be able to walk back up here with full HP and not have to worry about it. But again, I mean, Morphling is free farming and Weaver is free farming, but I still feel like Morphling is probably the better hero in this particular match because he's not going to have to rely on getting up a really expensive item or even buying something like a hood. And I mean, we see Weaver pick it up right now. He has to go hood just to not die, and now he can focus on damage, whereas all Morphling's items are pretty much all going to boost his damage and survivability both, and I think he's going to be a lot more dangerous faster in the game.
Yeah, you also have to think the Morphling had a much better start than the Weaver did, so it's just going to escalate from there because they're not putting any pressure back on the Morphling.
Ooh, got a triple smoke up here, going towards bottom lane. They want to stop Aui's farm. Are they going to be able to do it? He's sitting at 85. Oh no, he uses waveform. That could be really bad. He does have replicate up though, but the silence comes out. There's a Void. He's going to try to TP out, but there's going to be a backup stun coming out from Leshrac. No way he's going to be able to get away from this. Soul Catcher goes off, tries to convert his stats, but not going to work. And they're going to get the mid tower though. PB Throwing that Shadow Strike from Queen of Pain onto the Windrunner, and that's a second tower kill for Venomancer, actually. He's going to be pretty happy with that, I think. Very, very rich, as we can see Korea doing some scouting out here. They are going to try to fight this. They're going to go on way too right here. There's no sentry down, and Korea walking right in, getting the kill on Venomancer, and he's actually going to waste the send back to base there from Chen. Korea trying to run away after the Scream of Pain, picking up the kill on the Weaver, who didn't actually get a chance to ultimate right there. He just died too fast. Now DDX trying to retreat up to the high ground, being chased down by Fogged. He's moving pretty fast, though. Pops the drum. Korea throws out the Void and the Silence, but way too aggressive. Just takes a huge amount of burst damage and can't live through it. Power shot from the back, though, managing to clip onto Fog. Soulcatcher goes off onto Tides of Time. He's going to try to send Fog back to the base. Are they going to be able to get the kill before he goes back? Sneaking should be able to get this with one more blink and a scream. There we go. Finally gets it, but Tides of Time drops. In the meantime, to the Edict of Leshrac, and now Sneaking in some trouble. Eats the stun out one, but he's not going to be able to get away. Windrunner gets it from the back. Nice power shotting so far. Oh, Sunstrike behind the tower!
Oh.
Invoker being played by Fog just snipes him right in the head. Oh my god.
Snipe Lord Fox, Jesus.
Every time you think that PotM bottom might have actually potentially lost the fight, you got the Sunstrike coming down and getting him another kill. And they did manage to get that tower middle too, so the first tier tower mid going down in favor of PB as well. Looking at the gold, they're sitting at about over 5,000, probably closer to 7,500 at this point. 3,500 experience. Gonna take a look at the items here. Fog does have up his drum already. Got that Staff of Wizardry going for his 4 staff. DDX sitting on some boots. Go ahead and check Owie over here. He does have his Perseverance on top of his tread so far. His farm's actually not as spectacular as I thought. Like, his CS is really high, but he doesn't really have that much gold. Typically, at this point, if you have that kind of CS and a handful of kills, maybe a handful less deaths, he'd probably already have his Lincoln, so his start hasn't been that incredible, but comparative, once again, to this Weaver. I mean, he's sitting at 47 CS and 0-3 on. Wow, another Cold Snap going off onto EGM in the middle lane. Right now, Root is just kind of grouped up here. They don't want to try to get caught out by anything. Want to just try to defend their tier 2s. No real big deal there. Sneaking. Walking around in the top woods, looking to apply some more pressure to the second tier tower top, and Root's going to react to it, but can they really fight without Night Stalker? That's the problem. We're actually going to see Scarabs go off. Give him some vision. Purge, actually, onto Fogged right there. And there's going to be a sentry dropped. Oh, no. Weaver does not know there's a sentry down. I don't think he did retreat, though. Shackle actually goes onto the Forge Spirit. Instead of anything else, power shot, not going to hit anything. Oh, they want to go in on this. They're going to throw out the Shadow Strike and the Scream onto DDX. PB playing this very aggressively. And they just get the tier 2 tower for basically no contention whatsoever. Sunstrike into the base, not going to hit DDX. Another Shackle goes off. Replicate is popped right there, so Awei's going to go ahead and TP bottom lane to farm, and I guess just keep it there if they want to try to fight. I think that's definitely a good call on his part. Going to go ahead and wait for him and get the rest of that CS. And PB's just going to go ahead and fall back. But now it's like, right now Root has 2 outer 2 towers left. And I'm really not sure if they can even defend these last 2 towers. The Night Stalker, I mean, he's a very good mid-game hero, and they're actually going to waste his Shackle Soul Catcher on this Replicate right here, so that's definitely unfortunate for them. Cold Snap going to be used on Blitz. And what do you think, man? Do you think they can actually defend this? Because I don't know.
If they go right now,
looks like they're going to try. Shackle goes off onto Fog. The Chenio comes out as well. They're going all in on Fog, but he gets sent back to the base by Chen already. Silence going off onto Sneaking. This is currently a 4v5. Can they actually chase this down? But Invis popped by Queen of Pain. Nice rune in the bottle right there. But now Korea's just without a team right now. His team's not here, man. He's going to get bursted down right there. He does eventually fall. DDX goes down as well. Now EGM with no mana trying to retreat out of the team fight, and Blitz will do the same. There is no extra sentry right here. They're going to just go ahead and blink back aggressively and try to pick off EGM and possibly this Leshrac. But Sneaking walking around the far side right now. He is going to blink in, throw out the Scream. Where's the Shadow Strike? He's trying to juke between the trees, but it's not going to work. Centaur block and the Plague Ward. Stun does manage to clip Sneaking, but it just does not matter. Edict popped, doing a ton of damage to this middle tier tower, and I feel like this one's going to be dropping soon. 18-9 right now in favor of PB at just 17 minutes. 10,000 gold lead, 5,000, almost 7,500 experience. Mikey, what is Root going to do about this?
What can they do, man? That was a 4v5 fight. The Morphling was farming bottom the entire time. Just PotM bottom was simply outplaying them at every corner.
So, they sent Fog back. I assume he TP'd directly back into the fight because they went all in on him right there. And then the second Void went on the Queen of Pain, who happened to have an Invis. I mean, that was pretty bad luck. Typically, you check bottles and stuff, but... Oh, actually, they're going to send him back to the base after wait for him too. Definite cute play. But yeah, so far, I just don't really know if they can do anything. Oh, nice Shackle, though, onto the Satyr and Way2. He's actually going to drop here. Sunstrike going off, does hit DDX, and he's going to drop as well. Now Leshrac popping the Edict and basically just panic running away. Centaur will die to the tower, and on the left-hand side, looks like Blitz is trying to do some harassment to Sneaking, but is it going to be enough? Korea throwing out the Void onto Chen as well. Another scream goes off. Waveform on a Korea. Shackle the tree on Tides of Time, though. He's going to drop here from the power shot thanks to EGM. That is a killing spree for this Windrunner, but Fog just so tanky at this point. Going to go ahead and force himself over the edge. Sneaking in the back as well, looking for the kill on the Shrek. He will scream. That does hit Fog the units, and now Fog desperately trying to retreat here. Does he have Invoke up? He can Cold Snap if he wants to. Actually, just did Cold Snap onto Korea, but he's going to get shackled the tree and die anyway. And I actually think I meant to say Ghost Walk right there, not Cold Snap, because he did already have that invoked, but not going to be able to use his invis to get away. And PB getting a couple of heroes picked off right there, but didn't lose their Morphling, who I think actually has his Lincolns being sent to himself right now. And Invoker decides to buy back, so they're feeling pretty confident after that.
Yeah, you have to think this might be a bit over-aggressive by PotM bottom. They're getting sloppy, they're giving them kills, but they're still getting the tower, so I guess it's not that big of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, when you got this big of a gold lead, over 12,000 actually, I think they can definitely give away a couple of buybacks at this point, maybe even a handful of kills. They've only lost one tower, man. It's almost 20 minutes into the game. Root has only managed to get one tower, and it was the tower that was basically up against their tri-lane. Oh no, Leshrac getting bursted down here. He actually does manage to get away with some semblance of HP, and the Sunstrike is not going to hit him though. Nice juke. In the meantime, Fog taking quite a bit of damage. Oh no, he silences the Forged Spirit instead, and Fog is actually going to get Chen healed here, but it's not going to matter. Gets bursted down anyway. Sneaky coming in with the blink right there. Korea gets mech'd up after the scream, and he's going to drop as well, so currently a 2 for 0. Is the dot damage going to be able to pick him off? No, never mind. Just a test of faith. Going to go ahead and kill thanks to Chen. And now DDX chasing down Tides of Time, playing this Chen, and it looks like Weaver is still in the team fight as well. Gale does land, but Shikuchi gives you that max move speed. DDX does fall to Chen, so that's a double kill for him. And now we're going to see the Penitence go off onto Weaver. And he's going to have to retreat here. I don't think he can fight this. Too many creeps. He just doesn't have much of a damage output in this meantime. I mean, Aui's been pushing top the entire time. He's been sitting up here doing his thing. He doesn't even have a replicate out. Feeling pretty confident that he can just right-click down all these creeps and get, well, pretty much just get out, I guess. Ooh, Sentry going to go down. Spot out Weaver here. He does get galed. Shikuchi is going to come off cooldown, though. Only 6 seconds. Able to get away.
I feel like as soon as PotM bottom stops getting sloppy with this, like, what just happened, like, in middle on that hill, that shouldn't happen. If they were taking this seriously, they would have followed up those 2 tier 2 pushes with a Roche, and they would just probably end the game, because their advantage is so large right now, and they know it. I think they're just having fun with the game.
It is a possibility. I really like the fact that Queen of Pain went for a Force Staff too. Playing against a Night Stalker, you want to be able to have some kind of mobility in the form of an item instead of having to rely on that blink, because if you're solely relying on blink and you get silenced in a team fight like that, we've seen the outcome. I mean, he can't live through that much nuke because of the build that he went, but he does have extra mobility from it, so definitely a good choice. Roshan attempt here from PB. It's not even really an attempt. It's just going to flat out die. Forged Spirits minus armor. Yeah, the Medallion minus armor. It just completely disintegrates Alacrity after the fact here, just for safe measure, I guess. Gale going to go off onto Korea, but he's quite fast. Sunstrike is going to go off, manages to split between Leshrac and... Oh, wow, okay, never mind. Leshrac goes bye-bye pretty much immediately. And yeah, they're just going to go ahead and chase down here. Silence on his sneaking Force Staffs himself forward. Gets shackled to the tree, though. DDX trying to juke around the trees. And it looks like in the backside, Weaver managed to get a kill on Venomancer, but pay with his life to Invoker. Korea still trying to juke out here. It's currently a 3 for 1. Only hero dying from PB right now is Venomancer, as Korea's not going to be able to do anything else. He's done everything that he possibly can. And holy for holies, man. A lot of action in this game. 40 kills in a 22-minute game. I've barely had time to let you talk, man. I almost feel bad, but I don't really think there's much else to say than PotM bottom has been kind of owning the entire time.
Yeah, man. Like, take it away. You're going nuts with this, and you should. Like, the action is constant. PotM bottom is, like, relentless. They're not stopping.
Gonna be another shackle, though. And right into the Lincolns. EGM's gonna go ahead and eat a Sunstrike. Middle melee racks. It does fall. Scream goes off. Nice dodge, though, by EBM. He backs himself up. And now we're going to see Sneaking actually force himself out after the silence. Fog throwing out some auto attacks. Wow, look at how hard he hits, man, with the Alacrity on another shackle. Goes on to a melee creep. And the Chen heal does come out. DDX completely out of mana right here, and Tides of Time. And the way back going to get picked off once again. Silence going off on the Sneaking. Blitz picking up that kill. This is just action all over the place, man. Oh, wow. Do they have a gem or something? I just saw the Deafening Blast go off. I guess they don't. Oh, wow, he's going to get cold snapped right here. He already uses time-lapse, but Fog's going to check on the tree and silence. Are they going to be able to get him right here? They do, but he has the Aegis. He's going to be up in just a second. Killing spree, though, for Owie 2000. Managing to get that Shadow Demon. Now we're going to see Blitz in the back here. Try to pick off somebody else, but going to fail after the Adaptive Strike comes out and right-click from Venomancer. Now Fog using the Ice Wall to great effect here. Man, that Leshrac is so freaking slow. What can he do? Stun on the low ground, not going to make contact. Probably doesn't matter anyways. Queen of Pain picks up the kill with a Scream. Now EGM trying to retreat out of here. He does have a medallion on him, but not going to matter. Win run bonus, enough to get him back to the base. And at this point, I mean, this Morphling is going to have his Ethereal Blade soon. Only 23 minutes in. He's about 1,000 gold away. Range Rax is going to fall in favor of PB. He's going to go ahead and just TP top. Does he have a Replicate out right now? Or did he actually use it already? I don't see it on the map anywhere.
No Replicate.
Alright, so he's not going to be looking at teamfight here. Just wants to try to finish up that Eagle Song so he can go for a shotgun build. He's going to have it quite early. I don't really think any hero on that team can even live through it. It does so much damage. I think maybe Night Stalker can, and I don't know if Weaver has enough HP, even with a hood, to really stop that. His Wave 2 is going to get caught out in the side here. He does have Invoker, though, if they want to try to turn it around. Ice Wall's dropped. Going to prevent any more advancing from that Night Stalker. Tides of Time, getting another Centaur. He has gotten so many Centaurs this game. Have you noticed that? Every time I see him, he's got like 2 or 3.
Yeah, he has been getting pretty good creeps, but it happens. Good creeps some games, bad creeps other games.
I actually personally think the most annoying creep is the Wildkin in the early stages of the game.
Oh my god.
Unbelievably annoying to play against.
Tornado is broken. Let's just leave it at that. Like, it's not balanced. What does it do? Like 20 damage a second or something? 8 damage a second?
It like doubles if it's right on top of you too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it's just like you lose your entire health bar. And it does damage from so far away too. Even if it's just like on your screen, you can just assume that it's hurting you. It's pretty ridiculous. And right now, PB...
It also, like, it gives so much vision at night as well. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm not quite sure on. I mean, if it's going to have vision, give it like the vision of a Sentry Ward, you know? Just like basically the box of the Tornado itself. I think it's a little bit craziness, but PB still being very aggressively positioned right here. They want to try to push into the base. They've already gotten the middle melee racks, so they're going to probably just wait for this lane to slow push and eventually just whittle down top. Or they're just going to go right in and try to kill DDX straight away. But Owie, I don't think actually... Oh, he does have his Ethereal Blade. He's going to get silenced, though, and forced out of the base. Night Stalker pops his ultimate to extend this Night. Like already popped on the Forward Spirit, trying to do extra damage to the tower. Or just going to run in and do damage to Leshrac. Okay, bye-bye EGM on Windrunner. There's a shotgun combination I was looking for. And now this top-tier tower, base tower, I should say, going down. Melee racks currently under siege, and I don't think that Root can really do anything about this whatsoever. We actually just see the GGs come out straight up. So Game 2, PB gets their revenge on Root Gaming. For the first time they played, it was actually Root who looked like this. And this time PB going to go ahead and seal the deal. Unfortunately, the Ringer EGM, he did pretty well this game, but not having a full roster definitely does hurt you in the long run. And that's going to be it, Mikey. You got any other thoughts about this game other than PB kind of just was playing really well?
Kind of the expected outcome. Like, I know Root beat them last time, but PotM bottom, man, they wanted revenge. I knew they were going to get it.
Yeah, they had their sights set on blood today, man. This was a pretty savage beating. I mean, the kill score doesn't really even justify it. If you look at the gold, over 25,000 in favor of PB. And that's with the 16 kills that we're including, too, when you talk about Root Gaming. And Root Gaming, unfortunately, not going to advance in this tournament, so that means that PotM bottom and VTI are going to be the ones who escape this particular group. And I'll be honest, man, I thought that Root and PB were going to be the ones out, so VTI being the surprise here, going 2-0 so far. And that's going to be it for today, guys. I want to thank you guys joining us for the cast, especially the guys who came early. Always awesome to talk to you guys before in the chat. I want to thank Mikey, especially for being here again, man. Even though he gave me a bit of a scare before the cast, I was like, where the heck is Mikey? He hasn't actually called me yet as the game was